Hi, I'm Jim Sheehan. I'm the Executive Director of the Ohio City Bicycle Co-op. I'm here to talk about bike commuting. I've divided it up into 7 realms to help you think about how much bike commuting will change your life. There's a trick in this presentation, so if you figure it out by the end, raise your hand. So the first realm is safety. We teach a Traffic Skills 101 course at the Bike Co-op, and it is nicknamed How to Not Crash Your Bike and Watch Where You Are Going. It is the first thing. I didn't believe I had to really put that in the curriculum, but watch where you're going, bears saying. We talk about crashes, not accidents. Accidents implies there's nobody's fault. Crashes, which are broken down into falls and collisions, somebody is at fault. If you include all the falls, it's usually you, the bike rider, because you can prevent yourself from falling off the bike, usually. So falls are divided into diversion hazards, where the front wheel gets diverted from the way you want to go and you can't balance anymore. Usually a crack in the pavement, or you go off the sidewalk, come back up on it. Loss of traction, ice, snow, sure, but wet leaves, wet paint lines, a little bit of gravel in the corner of a turn. Alcohol is involved in a huge number of bike crashes, both collisions and falls. So watch where you drink. Not too far from home, maybe. Inattention is a big problem. More with collisions. Collisions are a crash with another road users. So this looks like a collision with the telephone pole, but that pole did not make any choices there. It was just there. Collisions with 2 vehicles, 2 bikes, bike and pedestrian, car and bike. Bike-car crashes, collisions are account for most of the fatalities, only about 118 in the United States in 2015. There's more to safety. You got to watch out where other people are going. They may be doing everything right, they think, maybe they aren't. So most collisions happen at intersections, just as they do between 2 cars, a car and a truck. 50% of car-bike crashes are the cyclist's fault. That means the other 50% are the motorist's fault. So overtaking motorist collisions are one of the worst. Often not much you can do about that unless you're looking out behind you. So I am a huge fan of mirrors. I have a mirror on my helmet. Inattentive drivers are a really big problem. In the Traffic Skills 101 class, we spend most of our time talking about lane position. So if you're worried about somebody running into you from behind, statistically it's very rare, except unlit cyclists at night, and out in the country where the speeds are high and the sight lines are short. Big fan of the mirror. So reliability, if you can't get to work on time, your boss won't be happy with you, and it will affect your cycling life because you'll have more time to ride when you don't have a job. There are a couple of things that you can do to check that your bike is safe to ride, even if you are not a mechanic. And one of our members had a great suggestion. He leaves a 15-minute coffee break just before he gets to work. So if he gets a flat tire, he just misses his coffee break instead of being late for work. I thought it was an elegant solution. About 6% of crashes have a mechanical factor. Most of the reason that you'll be walking to work is due to poor maintenance, or if you get a new bike or you got it back from the bike shop, having it poorly built if things aren't put together right. There's some bad crashes that can happen, like your pedal falls off. That wasn't your fault. That was whoever put the pedal on. That was their fault. Anyway, bikes wearing out is pretty rare. Bikes are very durable, and you get lots of notice. It'll make funny sounds, and if you listen, you can save yourself money at the bike shop. We'll get to that in the next slide. Pay particular attention to your tires and your brakes. So, economy. I didn't bother to fill in any of the blanks. This was the default of the biking versus driving calculator that you can find on the web, and you can fill out your own particular statistics there. But when you're doing this, don't forget to factor in your gym membership, because if you're not riding your bike to work, you're going to have to get your exercise somewhere, and it'll probably cost you money and time. So the wheels are the most vulnerable and expensive part of the bike, followed by the drivetrain, the gears. So the two best things you can do to make your bike last longer and cost you less money: keep air in your tires so you don't get pinch flats where you hit a pothole, pinches the tube between the tire and the rim, and it gives you a snake bite. It'll also help you go faster if you keep your tires pumped up. More on that in just a minute. And the other thing that will really save you money and save you work is to oil your chain frequently and wipe the excess off after you put it on. The oil works down inside those little links. You don't need it all over the outside, so if you wipe it off, it'll stay clean. You'll never have to use one of those chain cleaners. The bicycle is the most efficient form of transportation known to anyone. More efficient than, I think at the top, the least efficient are mice. A person on a bicycle is down here. Salmon is over there. Horses. Jet transportation. So, bicycle is a wonderful invention. You have to do all the work though, so it's nice to make them as efficient as possible. Make it run smoothly. We'll get you there a little bit faster. Wind resistance is the most important, biggest factor when you get over 15 miles an hour. So if you think of riding as fast walking instead of slow driving, it's a much easier way to think about how you're going to get there. You get up to 20 miles an hour, it gets really hard to get to 21. So comfort. Everybody wants to be comfortable on their bike, and there are a few things that will really help you with that. Number one, the tires you choose. Wider tires are really a good thing. The skinny ones go faster, but even the racers are starting to go to a little bit wider tires so they can run a little bit lower pressure. It's not that much slower, and it gives you a much more comfortable ride. Play around with the pressure until you get too low, and you risk one of those pinch flats, but I will show you a safety check in just a moment. As far as your bike position from the top to the bottom there, that cyclist with the blue helmet on the top is sitting way up in the air, which is great. It takes all the weight off your hands, seems more comfortable, but all the weight that comes off your hands goes onto your seat. So the one in the middle, about level with the seat and handlebars, is a good compromise. The racer on the bottom there has got his seat way above the handlebars. He looks pretty comfortable to me, though. They spend a lot of time doing that, so he has practice. Sitting a little more upright will give you more visibility in traffic, though, too. So convenience. You got to be able to carry stuff, carry your briefcase, carry your groceries. These ladies are carrying a lot of stuff on their handlebars, which they're probably used to, being from Holland, I'm guessing. Bungee cords are a great invention, and there are a few other things that you can do and buy that will make your bike more convenient. Good clothing that is appropriate for what the weather you're riding in. There are lots of accessories, some equipment. Planning is an important part. Knowing where the bus route is, since Cleveland has bus racks, bike racks on all the buses, it's a great thing. If you get a flat or you got a little more to carry than you think you can get on the bus. The cell phone is the ultimate electronic toolkit. Hello, dear. So I put fashion in there because it is important to have your bike look good, to look good on your bike. I will say that I think, judging from men's hairstyles at least lately, the sort of spiky look, helmet head is in, so you can make the most of that trend right now. The person on the bottom here, the single speed, probably a fixed gear bike, is very minimalist. I like gears, but some people don't care about them that much, and it makes the bike look real clean, but they are certainly not that practical. So if you can embrace the steampunk aesthetic, or doodads and stuff, you'll see my bike in just a second. I've fully embraced steampunk. Finally, Fun. It's important to have fun, as our Director of Sustainability was just saying. Why be lonely and why have a horrible time getting to work? It's a chunk out of your day, and you may as well have fun, and riding your bike is just about always fun, whether you get your fun from being fit, just getting some endorphins. You can practice doing your wheelies or your track stand on the way to the work if you're into bike skills, or if you just want to feel a little sanctimonious about your carbon footprint, you can go ahead and do that. Or just out for a ride with the wind in your hair. I'm going to show you one thing real quick here, Ted, about bike setup. Most of the people that we teach have their seat too low. And I don't want to be a seat Nazi about it, but if you ride very long, you will find it much more comfortable to have your seat high enough that you can you see my feet there, Ted? You will be tiptoe to the ground, and when your foot is on the pedal at the bottom of the stroke, you have just a little bend in your knee. It's awkward when you stop, which is why you learn to get off the seat every time you stop and stand on the ground. And this also enables you to achieve the power pedal position. Put your toe under the pedal, pull it forward. When you stand on the pedal then, you get up on the seat and the bike goes at the same time.